Have you ever reached a point where you started thinking maybe love just isn't meant for you, but something deep inside tells you God still has a plan for your heart? Sometimes you look around and it feels like everyone else is finding love, building families, and moving forward while you're still praying, waiting, and trying to understand what God is doing behind the scenes. It's easy to believe you've been overlooked, but what if God's silence isn't rejection, it's preparation? He's not keeping you single to punish you, He's protecting you until the right person is ready for the version of you He's been shaping in private. You've grown stronger, wiser, and more grounded than you've ever been before. The waiting has taught you what peace really feels like and what love should never cost you again. God hasn't forgotten your desire for companionship, He's refining it so when love comes it reflects His timing and not your impatience. Your single season isn't the end of your story, it's the foundation for something lasting. Because when God finally connects you with the right person, you'll realize He didn't withhold love, He was preparing you to experience it the right way. This is why there are divine reasons God will not keep you single. 1. You've healed from past pain. You've cried enough tears for what once broke you, and God saw every single one of them. Your pain wasn't wasted, it taught you what love is supposed to feel like and what it should never be again. Now when you think about what happened, you no longer feel bitterness, just understanding. You finally realize that healing doesn't erase the memory, it changes your relationship with it. That shift in your spirit is proof that you're ready for love that feels safe and secure, not heavy and confusing. God will not keep you single when your heart has truly healed. He knows when pain no longer controls your choices. When you no longer seek comfort from brokenness, your position to receive something whole. You've learned to stop comparing everyone to your past. And because of that, you'll be able to recognize when love comes from peace, not pressure. Your healing has softened your heart, not hardened it. You've learned how to love again without losing yourself in the process. Now instead of asking why it happened, you thank God for what it taught you. That's how you know He's preparing your heart for someone who will handle it with care. When your heart no longer reacts from pain but responds from peace, that's when divine timing begins to unfold. God doesn't let healed hearts sit in isolation forever, He lets them love again with wisdom. He trusts you now to love from a place of growth, not desperation. And that's exactly why your healing is the key to your next chapter. 2. God has declared your waiting season over. There comes a moment when waiting turns into movement, and you can feel it in your spirit before you even see it. You've been faithful, patient, and prayerful, and God has taken note of every moment you didn't give up. You've learned to sit still even when nothing made sense, and that discipline built your strength. Now the stillness you once called delay is becoming divine preparation. He's ready to bring to pass what you've only imagined in your quiet prayers. When God declares that your waiting season is over, everything begins to align. Doors open without explanation, and peace replaces anxiety about timing. You start to notice that what used to feel hard now flows with grace. The person meant for you doesn't bring confusion, they bring confirmation. That's how you know God's hand is moving. You're stepping into a season of answered prayers. The wait taught you how to trust God without needing control. It humbled you, shaped you, and removed your fear of missing out. You're no longer desperate for something to happen, you're ready for it to unfold. Now your spirit can recognize divine timing when it appears. God is not slow, He's strategic. And when He finally releases what's meant for you, it comes with ease, not effort. He's declaring now that you've learned what you needed to learn in waiting. The next step is walking into what you prayed for with gratitude instead of fear. This is your moment to move forward because the waiting season has served its purpose. 3. You've outgrown loneliness. You've learned that being alone doesn't mean you're forgotten. God's presence has filled the spaces where people once left. You've spent nights wondering why no one stayed, only to realize God never left your side. Your peace now comes from knowing that solitude isn't punishment, it's where strength grows. And that strength is what's preparing you for genuine love. You no longer chase connection out of fear of being alone. You've learned to sit with yourself, talk to God, and enjoy your own company. The silence that once felt unbearable now feels like a sanctuary. You've learned that it's better to wait alone in peace than to stay attached in pain. And that understanding has matured your spirit. God doesn't keep people lonely forever. He uses the quiet seasons to show you that your joy can't depend on company. He teaches you how to love yourself enough to attract what's healthy. Because only someone who's learned peace alone can maintain peace together. That's why your season of loneliness wasn't rejection, it was refinement. Now you see that God never removed people to hurt you, He removed them to protect your becoming. And now that you've outgrown loneliness, you're ready for togetherness that doesn't drain your spirit. You won't settle for temporary comfort again because you know the cost of false connection. Your peace has become your standard, and that's what draws divine love your way. God isn't keeping you single because you're unworthy, He's preparing to reward your wholeness. 4. You've learned to be content. You've finally reached a point where your happiness isn't waiting on a relationship to start. You wake up grateful, not anxious. You find joy in the small things, peace in prayer, laughter with friends, and stillness in your own space. That contentment is a sign of maturity, and God notices it. He blesses those who can be thankful in any season. You're no longer desperate for someone to complete you because you've learned God already made you whole. That realization changed everything. Now, instead of begging for love, you prepare to receive it with purpose. You're learning that the right person won't come to fix you but to grow with you. And that mindset is what makes you ready for lasting love. Contentment attracts what desperation repels. You've stopped searching in frustration and started trusting in peace. You don't compare your timeline to others anymore. You know everyone's season looks different. You've learned that joy doesn't depend on what's missing but on what's present. And because of that, you've already started living in peace before love arrives. When you find peace in being single, you make space for a relationship that adds to your joy instead of becoming your only source of it. You're no longer waiting in sadness but resting in faith. God sees that you're not trying to rush His timing anymore. That peace in your heart is what signals to heaven that you're ready for His next move. 5. You've learned to guard your heart wisely. You've learned the hard way that not everyone deserves access to your heart. You now understand that guarding your heart isn't about building walls, it's about protecting peace. You no longer give your time to people who drain your spirit or disrupt your clarity. That wisdom didn't come overnight, it came through pain, reflection, and spiritual growth. Now you see that your heart is sacred ground, not open territory. You've realized that love must align with your purpose, not distract you from it. You no longer confuse attention for affection or chemistry for compatibility. Your standards have risen not from pride but from awareness. You're not afraid to walk away when peace leaves the room. And that strength shows God you're ready for what's truly meant for you. Guarding your heart is now an act of faith, not fear. You trust that God will reveal who's safe to love and who's not. You understand that being selective isn't arrogance, it's obedience to His protection. You've learned that peace is your confirmation, not pressure. And because of that, your next connection will come with peace that doesn't fade. When you guard your heart with wisdom, you leave space for someone who values it the same way. You'll never have to force what's from God because it will protect your peace, not disturb it. God has seen your growth in discernment, and that's why He's preparing someone equally careful with love. This time it won't cost your peace to keep your heart open. You'll finally see what it feels like when God sends someone who honors your boundaries as much as your heart. Every season you've endured has been shaping you for the love, peace, and purpose that's on its way. God hasn't forgotten you. He's been preparing you, quietly healing what was broken and strengthening what was weak, so you can finally walk into something that lasts. When it feels like nothing is changing, remember that delay does not mean denial. Your story is still unfolding, and the same God who wrote your pain will write your restoration. If the content inspired you, please like, comment, and subscribe to Pure Inspirational. Be blessed.